side of a church that is a part of what is called Justice Matters. The pastor at this church has taken a leadership role, and we are here to ask him some questions. Pastor Sturtevant, are you willing to speak to us regarding Justice Matters?
I am.
Good. How are you involved in this effort?
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing this story to everyone's attention. It's an important one. We in our congregation are part of a network of churches. There are 20 of us that gather together to speak for issues of justice. And the way we define that is we understand the need for what we call relief ministries, the food pantry and link, emergency need solving issues. But we also know that those relief ministries are going to continue year after year and generation after generation if we're not also engaged in what we call reversal ministries, asking what are the systems that cause these needs in the first place and how can we be a part of God's work of reversing those systems. And so, as I say, our congregation, along with 19 others, does this work together. We also participate, me personally, with the housing piece of things. One of the priorities that this group has made at top of its list is affordable housing. And so I am one of the members of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board as well as part of my role.
So what is the advisory board trying to do?
Sure. So this is again, the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Advisory Board is a lot of words to basically say that this is a group that advises the City Commission in terms of issues of affordable housing. And so there is a trust fund that has been set up in order to care for some of these needs and be able to be accessed so that affordable housing can be built. And so we advise the city on those issues about revenue streams, about how we get money in the fund, and then also uses of that fund. And so these are significant conversations that we have. I am the chair of that committee, but there are a lot of folks that have been doing affordable housing for many, many years, decades even. Folks from Family Promise, from Habitat for Humanity, tenants to homeowners, a lot of folks that do this work, 24 or 40 hours a week or more. And so we participate in that conversation usually on a monthly basis.
So is there really a need in this community for that kind of work?
Yeah, absolutely. We feel that this is something that has been a growing need and is pretty significant at this moment. You can look back over the last 20 years, and we've talked a lot in Lawrence about affordable housing. It's been something that we've brought up and oftentimes even created a mechanism, but then momentum falls and things slip through the cracks. And so what we have now is a situation in which folks that aren't making at least $15, $16 an hour oftentimes simply cannot afford to live in this community. We have a waiting list of over 600, getting close to 700 households, folks that are waiting for a house through one of these many programs, through these nonprofits. And as they're waiting, we realize there's an issue here, there's a problem because they continue to wait and the number is getting bigger and not getting smaller. And so even a couple weeks ago we read in the newspaper that the average new home construction cost is $300,000. Meanwhile, the average income for somebody in Lawrence is $50,000. And so we see this disconnect, we see this problem, and realize the problem's not going to get better if we keep affording or keep building luxury and not building affordability. And so absolutely, this is something that we want to make sure down the road the problem doesn't continue to get worse, because then somebody making $17, $18, $20 an hour will not be able to live in this community either, and elementary school teachers won't be able to teach in the community where they live, or firemen or police will not be able to live and work in the same place. And so absolutely, it's a problem that we want to address now before it gets even worse.
Are there ways that our viewing audience can participate in this?
Absolutely. As you hear me today and as a part of this congregation, we are doing our work. On Christmas Eve, this congregation said that we would speak to this problem and try to tackle it. And so we collected the Christmas Eve offering to go toward the Affordable Housing Trust Fund. Last week, our moderator, John Paul, stood before the City Commission to present that check to them, to speak a word, a prophetic word, basically reminding the Commission that in our worship, in our faith, we worship a Lord who was homeless on the night that he was born, that there was simply not enough room in the town that he went to be born in. And so because of that passion that we feel, because of our faith that we feel, we want to do something to make this problem diminish, if not completely go away. And so we're doing things. There are more that we can do. We're going to gather together next Sunday during Sunday school on the 21st to talk about this, to hear more about this issue, to discuss more about justice in our community. And that will be a way to help educate ourselves moving toward an event here in about 2 months. We're going to gather in the Lead Center with all of the congregations. And so we hope to have 2,000 people there to speak for justice, to say this is something that we want to make a difference on because of our faith.
Thank you very much, Pastor Sturtevant, for taking this time with us. This is Nancy Bonner of FBC Network, returning you to your regular programming.